Very quickly, John, a guy that's got to be sick of appearing on our radio station by now, distinguished attorney. These days he's representing former Trump Organization General Counsel Michael Cohen in this litigation against Stormy Daniels. The one and only David Schwartz is on the line with us. David, good evening.
Hi. Hey, Frank. Hey, John. I'm never sick of doing your station. Never, as long as the Catman is on, I'll be on anytime he wants.
I am here, and tell us about how could CBS, how could 60 Minutes allow somebody of dubious character like this? Well, she's not a prostitute. She is.
She's an adult.
She's a porn star. She's a porn star.
Porn star.
She's a porn star.
And her lawyer, who was quasi-political, even 60 Minutes said he represented Rahm Emanuel, to give him prime time.
Yeah.
For 22 million Americans to watch the nonsense. Did he have sex? Who knows? But who cares?
I think you just answered the question, John. I mean, 60 Minutes is the gold standard, and it certainly wasn't the gold standard last Sunday. And, in fact, I have great respect for Anderson Cooper, but I don't think it was his greatest moment.
They tarnished the gold standard.
So look, this guy, and he calls me a thug. So he's representing a porn star who's trying to shake down the president of the United States, but I'm the thug. Okay.
But who are the executives at CBS that allowed this to happen?
Yeah. It was ratings gold, though, John. You got to look at it from I know you see things, from the business standpoint. And although I agree with you that it's complete garbage, the whole story is garbage. The whole story is nonsensical. She says they had an affair. She's even, by her story, they had sex one time 12 years ago. It's the whole story makes no sense. But David, you know about Washington, and Frank, you know about Washington. If you really delve deep into the 100 U.S. senators in Washington, how many of those senators had a dubious encounter in the last 20 years? By the way, John, you bring up a great point, because my client, paid this woman $130,000 to avoid litigation and to avoid embarrassment for Mr. Trump and to avoid embarrassment to the family. But it's interesting because we know that many politicians, many elected officials have entered into the same arrangements. And guess what? We were never notified about it. And, John, guess what? Whose money paid for those settlements? It wasn't Michael Cohen, right? Whose money paid for those settlements? It was your money and my money and the taxpayers' money paid for those settlements. So that's egregious. But instead, they try to make it seem like what Michael Cohen did was egregious, in which he did absolutely nothing wrong. Everything was completely legal what he did. So they have made a mountain out of a molehill. I give this guy credit for one thing. He definitely turned lemonade into a complete lemon. He's made the best out of the story. The guy's a PR machine, and he's only in it for himself.
Well, I don't know whether the station would allow this to happen. I think it's just below. Really, they've tarnished the name of 60 Minutes, who was a great show for the last 50 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was a complete bunch of nonsense. But, again, from a business standpoint, they got the best ratings they've had in a long, long time. So, this story is selling. Stormy is selling. And it's just complete and utter nonsense.
David Schwartz, we're out of time.
All
Thank
right.
you.